From Einmal Lines Productions, this is the original Singletrack podcast bringing you episode 308. I'm your host, Matthias Eichler. Glad you're here. As always, the show is brought to you by Electric Cable Car, publishing daily a global perspective on our mountain culture and of the business and sport of trail and ultra running. Visit electriccablecar.com to stay up to date. The big story we're following over the next few days is the Hard Rock 100. I myself will be heading to the San Juans above Silverton, Colorado on Monday and will be bringing you a unique and behind-the-scenes look at this incredible and exclusive and wonderful event. Visit electriccablecar.com, sign up for the newsletter to receive a summary of all the important news every other week. Hannes Namberger is back on Singletrack and back on the podium for the third time, claiming the crown at the incredible Lavaredo Ultra Trail 120k in Cortina, the heart of the Dolomites in northern Italy. Hannes shares some incredible moments of his race against a absolutely stacked man's field and his last-minute surge in the last 12k to take the lead and first place against Tom Evans. We talk about the longevity of an athlete's career, what it takes to win at highly competitive races these days, and what's next for him on the calendar. Let's go. Hannes, you're back on Singletrack. Welcome back. So excited to have you back.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
I mean, it was the absolute perfect opportunity. It is summer. It's heating up towards UTMB, and you just crushed an absolute incredible race at the Lavaredo 120k. Congratulations on winning the race now for a third time. Wow.
Yeah, third time, incredible. It was always a dream to be successful one time there, but then you say, yeah, okay, why not a second time? And then uh, it's one of the most beautiful races in the world for me. And then I said, okay, I have to do it for my third time, and it was amazing. And
Fantastic.
with this time and also with in this elite field, it was perfect. Yeah.
I mean, this is something that I wanted to talk about. Last time we talked about was after you'd won Eiger, and one of the things you had mentioned was that you were worried about sort of that growth of UTMB events being everywhere for you as elites, because you sign up for these races to get your stones, entry, whatever, but then you don't have good competition. Your Lavaredo field was stacked, especially on the men's side, was almost as competitive as Western States was for the same weekend. You had an absolute incredible field.
Yes, the field was really good. That's always something what I want. I like it and I love it to race in a very strong field. For me, it was a mini UTMB. And that's afterwards, if you be successful at the race like this and you beat a person like Tom Evans, a Western States winner, and also Andy Reitera and a lot more, then you can be really proud of your performance.
Yeah. You're not just running by yourself, sort of just trying to manage yourself in order to achieve something. And a win is a win, but that level of competition, and on top of it, the competition wasn't just in name. The race was also very, very tight. I mean, was 15 kilometers from the finish, and you were still running with Tom Evans?
Yes, exactly. I would say nearly the whole race, I could always see Tom. Sometimes I had the gap between him and me about 3 minutes. That was the maximum. But we spoke always during the race about finishing together, because he did it last time together with Dima at Drains Volcano. And I said, Tom, that's not possible that we do this again, because our sport is cool, but we have to show the people a fight until the finish line. And if you do it together, that's sometimes really cool. I did it also, also with Dima in Cape Town. But you are thinking also, what happened if we sprint until the finish line. And then, yeah, I want a real battle. And if we can show this to the community and to the people, that would be cool. In triathlon, it's normal. In every running competition, it's normal to sprint. And also in cycling, nobody does it together. And now we have to do the same. And then I was thinking about myself, what should I do to win? What can I do? Where can I beat Tom? And he was always much better, much stronger in the downhill. But on the last uphill, it was 11 Ks before the finish line. I had a small gap to him. It was only 20 meters, and he was a little bit struggling. And then I said, okay, now or never. I have to try it. I went really deep. I smashed myself extremely, and yeah, I risked everything in the downhill, through the forest, full gas, 11 Ks to go, and yeah, I risked and I won.
Amazing. Amazing. I wish we would have had a live stream of that race, because that would have been something incredible to watch on these last few kilometers. So you're coming strongly out against hand holding at the finish line. You want to battle it out. That's an important point here to make.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. I think that there's room, right? I mean, if the weather would have been awful and you would have been battling for hours, right? You could see a race like Hard Rock or something like that, right? Where it's a scenario where you're saying, wait, man, it was just us two at the front for the past, like, I don't know, 8 hours or so. Let's take it in together. But at a race that has such a high profile as Lavaredo and is fairly runnable too, I think it's good to fight it out. So you described then that do you feel like Tom was breaking, or do you feel like, how do you describe this? Like, you risked a lot in those moments, but do you think like you sort of discovered a weak spot in him for the day?
I would say I know the downhill very well. I
Okay.
know every stone. I was doing a recon before. I was remember myself. Okay, on 7 Ks before the finish line, I will be there. Then it's steep. Then it's very technical. Okay, then very runnable part. Then on 4 Ks, I are on this track, and then I was counting down the Ks, and I had also my dad in the last case. He told me, okay, you have 1 minute, let's go. He was crying on me through the forest, go, go, go. Then other runners, they was waiting for me in the last case, and I had good informations. And I was knowing that Tom was training for UTMB, and he don't waste his body
Oh,
until
okay.
the end. And I said to myself, you smash your body, you waste yourself, you go for the win. This is your race. UTMB is only UTMB. UTMB is not my race. UTMB is race for Tom. So I'm here for the win. I have to do it.
I like it. I like it. So you really took advantage of the fact that you know the course, you've raced this race before, and that's an interesting other point you're making. You think that Tom was like, well, I get my stones, I'm qualified for next year's UTMB. I can sort of preserve my body with less than 2 months to UTMB, when you were like, screw this, I'm going to take the win. And who cares what's going to happen at UTMB? But you are going to be at the starting line at UTMB.
Yeah, sure. Like every year, you have to.
Okay, I
It's
like
this
it.
race, but yeah, now I have a very successful race in this season, and now I'm very relaxed for the next adventure.
Fantastic, fantastic. You've had a little bit of a rocky winter. You've dealt with some injuries and some setbacks. You've been distracted with a kid and a house renovation, everything. So that must feel really good that you were able to put all these pieces together at race day.
Exactly. Yes, but I had a lot. Yeah, my schedule was really heavy, I would say. I had a lot of things to do at the same time: training, a baby, house renovation, a job, all things like this, and the recovery was not how it should be. And then I went to Transvolcania. I was thinking, okay, that's a good race. You prepared very well, but it wasn't, or I wasn't. And then after Transvolcania, I planned together with my wife, okay, now full focus, training, recovery, and that's all. I want to be best prepared at Lavaredo. And that was the key, to take time for regeneration, for training, yeah, and take everything a little bit easier. And that was the key to be successful.
So you clearly made some adjustments with your other life in order to not just do your training with your training, but then also to sort of prepare your mental and physical side to be able to take advantage and really go all in on Lavaredo.
Exactly. I spent minimum 2 or 3 weeks in this area. Not always on the course, but also on the regime, on the mountains where I love. And yeah, I had always a good time in this area, and my full focus was always on this race on Friday night and to smash it again.
Fantastic. I mean, the Dolomites are an absolutely incredible place. It's funny that you love Lavaredo so much and rate it so high, because I've not run Lavaredo, but for me, I like the Dolomites myself too. And I would, if you would ask me, okay, you get to run one dream race, I would put Lavaredo higher than UTMB myself too, just because the Dolomites are such a magical place.
Yeah, it's also a place where I've been with my grandfather as I was a child, and he want to climb. He was a climber, and he want to do the the big tower of the regime, and it was not possible for me. But he spent with me some good days in a tent around the regime, and that was a cool thing. And I went back to the regime when I started to trail running directly. I started with a sport, and then I went directly to the regime, and I had such a good time. And then I had a connection to this area, and until now, nothing changed.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And it's great for you to be able to take these childhood memories and make new memories now for yourself. You're still not climbing, but you're winning Lavaredo and you're bringing your family now with you, and you're sort of building this next generation, right?
Exactly, yes. And the cool thing is, after my second win, I got a special pizza in a restaurant.
Yes, we
And
need to talk about this. You have a
yeah,
pizza that is the Hannes Namberger.
yeah,
We need a link. You need to send me a link to the pizza place, because everybody who is in Cortina has to check that out. Tell me about it.
yeah. After my second win, I went into the trophy, and then the people. You see a lot of pips from ski competitions, from all the Olympics, from the World Champs
Yeah.
on the wall. So you knew when you go inside, they love sport. And then the owner said me, "Are you the champion?" Yes, I'm the champion.
He walking in with the
Yeah.
trophy. It's a nice flex. Oh yeah, I ran this thing.
Yeah, nearly. Yeah. And then yeah, I go always here if if I'm here in Cortina. Okay. And then what are you eating? Tonno e cipolla, so tuna and onions. That's
Okay.
my pizza.
Okay.
Should we call this pizza Hannes Namberger now? Yeah, that would be awesome. Sure, let's do it. And then after some months, I went back, and really on the menu was Hannes Namberger Tonno e cipolla.
That is amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. I don't know about these flavors. I have to try them in Italy. I've had a couple. That
It's a
doesn't.
hangover pizza.
Oh, it's the perfect hangover pizza. I love this. It's fantastic. Okay, everyone, put Lavaredo on your list of races, and then go. What's the name of the pizzeria?
Cinque Torri. So
Oh,
five,
yeah, yeah. I love the
five.
Cinque Torres. That was my climbing experience as a teenager. I climbed at the Cinque Torre. Fantastic. Okay. And eat the Hannes Namberger pizza there. That is absolutely amazing. So, since we're talking about Cortina, they're getting ready for the Olympics. How has the town changed? Is it crazy right now?
Yeah, it's I would say the hotels and everything, they are growing.
Mhm.
They run away with everything and preparing for the Olympics. Yeah, but they
Fantastic.
also love trail running. Yeah, on this weekend, 6,000 people went to Cortina for the Lavaredo for
Mhm.
all distances, and it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Do you feel like Lavaredo gets overlooked in the larger media world because it's on the same weekend as Western States and Mont Blanc Marathon? There's so much hype. I mean, it's probably the biggest week of trail running, probably even accumulative in numbers, bigger than UTMB, right? I mean, if you look at all the big races.
Yeah, you have, I would say, these three focuses.
Mhm.
Western States, then Chamonix with Mont Blanc, and also um, Lavaredo. So you can do, so you can, if you don't run, you spend your whole day on the live stream. So that's crazy. So it's better to run
Yes.
because if not, you spend your whole day in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Um, for me, Lavaredo is the biggest race in Europe. The biggest race at this weekend
Mhm.
in Europe. Mont Blanc is super cool, yes, but to go there and also for UTMB would be too much for me. So
Mhm.
you have to do this or this.
Okay.
Um, Western States, the problem is it's so difficult to get into.
Mhm.
So I need a qualifier or a golden ticket. Yeah, and so I decide always to take the easier way and to go to Lavaredo.
Yeah, yeah. But it is a race that is worthy of more attention, I think. It's always been, it's well known, but it's sort of, it's from the media side, right? I think the runners who've raced it, they love it. But I think from the media side, it is sort of disappearing a little bit. It doesn't really get the attention.
Yeah,
At
this
least,
could be. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
For Mont Blanc Marathon, the media attention was much bigger. They have a live stream. They have coverage. They have only on Friday the 90K, then on I think Sunday the marathon. They make this part a little bit better. The
Mhm.
Italians, yeah, they don't care about this. They have nothing. So they have only the live data and that's all,
Mhm.
and the photos, and they know what they have with the regime and the area and the Dolomites, so they don't care about live television.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting perspective. I mean, if your race sells out, then you as
Yeah,
a race organization, you are there to give the best experience to the runners and not necessarily for people from around the world, right? I mean, if I sit on the couch somewhere, um, I'm
mm.
entertained, but the race organization itself needs to make sure that there's enough food at the aid stations, and you've got markings and everything else, right?
Yes, yes. So I would say the race is very well prepared for the runners. So they have the perfect experience. So I found nothing what I don't like it this weekend. But I have to go to Western States and sometimes and check this out, and maybe that fits better. We don't know.
Yeah. So Western States is still something that you would consider racing at some point?
Yes, but I, if I be honest, the problem is you need a big crew for Western States. If you want to have the same like the other elite runners, um, you waste a lot of money if you have no big sponsor like Adidas or Hoka or North Face. For me, as a Dynafit athlete, we have no big team there, so that's not our market. But you have to bring your own team to this place, and I don't know if I want to do it because you need a big crew for only giving you ice, drinks, and that's all. It's a lot of support for only running.
Yeah. Do you have that crew in Europe, or is that not necessary in Europe because the way the races are structured?
For Lavaredo, I had 4 people in my car.
Okay.
One cameraman, my dad for the time splits, my wife for crewing, and also a very good friend of mine for driving the car and giving me extra support. So I would say 3 people are nearly necessary. 2 are minimum, 3 are better. Cameraman is bonus.
Yeah. So you have the crew, and it's just logistically easier to get the crew together for a race in Europe.
Yes,
Wherein
it's only 3 hours. Yeah.
flying the whole family to California obviously would cost a lot of money, right? Which is a completely different logistical thing.
Exactly. And I spoke with one runner. He made Western States this year in 19 hours, and he is normally really good in this terrain, but he said you have to train in altitude and also in extremely hot conditions. And we don't have this here in Europe. So you have to spend 2 months before the race on
Somewhere.
on altitude and in hot conditions to train and to prepare yourself. At home in Europe, not possible.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, those are some really good practical things. I was just talking with Katharina Hartmut, who is over for Hard Rock right now, and she's been talking too about the logistical challenges of trying to find support, right? And in some respects, if you look at her last year UTMB, then on paper she should be in the front running with Courtney, but those are Courtney's mountains, right? I mean,
Yes.
it is her backyard when Katarina has never been over here, and the logistics of crewing and finding a team and stuff like that, right? It's going to be tough to compete on the same level just because of the larger logistical challenges, right? Now it's an
Yes.
interesting perspective because we've seen pictures now from some of the top runners and how much support that they are getting at Western States. And it seems it's only getting crazier, right? It seems like it's only getting more and more people who are managing an individual runner. It's like a Formula One race, right? Pit stop crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you can stop this movement. If you want to have the same rules for all, I have to do the same. Yeah, not Jim, but like the other top 10 runners. So I have to bring minimum 4 or 5 people to Western States, and it's always expensive.
Yeah.
But is this the right way to race the races in the future? It's also the same in UTMB. They are driving through the tunnel to Courmayeur to give you 1 liter to drink, 10 gels and a fresh headlamp, and that's all. And for this, they drive around the mountain. Maybe we can do this also with a drop bag, but now it's impossible to stop this.
It is a good question you're asking, right? Because for me as an average runner, I know that I am not getting that kind of crew support anyway, right? And so from my perspective, saying, well, why don't you just say no crew or very limited crew, right? I mean, you could sort of make that rule, but I don't know if we can get that cat back into the bag, as they say, right? I mean, you're thinking it's too far gone, no chance to go
Yeah,
back.
no chance, no
Hmm.
chance. Now we have to be always faster every year.
Hmm.
I think it's not possible, but yeah, that's because UTMB try always to be more sustainable, um, less car on the track, but the crew is giving you only a minimal of nutrition for the next things to the next aid station, and yeah, for me it could be also a little bit less
Hmm.
to to make it a little bit more easier and yeah with less support
Yeah, yeah.
from outside.
No, that's an interesting perspective. I like it. Well, if you do somehow find yourself with an entry to Western States, let me know. For me,
Okay,
it's
deal.
for me, it's a little bit easier to come down to crew and help out. So I don't have to fly all the way across the pond.
At first golden ticket, but I
Exactly.
don't know. I have some things to do before, but you never know what is the next on your race plan.
Well, what is for you the next on your race plan is UTMB. So you're now resting, refocusing, dialing yourself back into your last training block before UTMB.
Yes, exactly. From next week on, I start again with training. This week is really easy. Back to house renovation, do normal things, and then start again. First week is really easy. You check is your body really healthy, nothing hurts, and then I have to improve the things what I did not so good last year and also not good at Lavaredo, and that's for me hiking, hiking, hiking with poles always
Okay.
up and down, up and down.
So this is really for you to focus. Lavaredo is more runnable than UTMB.
Yes, because the mountains are not so steep,
Okay.
you can run the nearly the most of the time.
Mhm, mhm. So will you put some very specific hiking sessions into your training plan?
Yeah, it's super stupid, but that's intervals in hiking
Mhm,
style. For example, 3 times 30 minutes, and then start again running, and then again some uphill intervals. So spending hours and hours in in climbing mode
mhm,
with
mhm.
poles. Very important with poles.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Did you, well, you use Polestar for Lavaredo too, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Without, oh, no, no chance.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'm right there with you. I'm racing OCC this year, so I will
Oh,
need to get used to some very steep hills. My coach has just told me that my last hill intervals were nice, but not steep enough. So I need to find some steeper hills that
yeah,
are easy accessible.
the climbs are really steep.
Yeah.
At as especially the first one.
Hmm.
That's nearly 1,300 meters vertical climbing and directly from the start.
Yeah.
So you need good climbing legs.
All right. I'll get ready for that. I tried to run Monte Rosa, the 100K, and I was blown away by how steep the trails were. Like we over here, we have some steep hills that we consider steep, but it is crazy how steep the hills around that area are. Yeah.
they are not technical, but
Mm-hmm.
steep, and you need a good speed uphill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You told me. I'll get ready for that. I'm excited. Well, fantastic. Now, before we recorded, we spoke in German briefly, and I wanted to bring this up on the podcast because it was an interesting conversation. And it was you thinking about your future and potential retirement from running. That might be a little bit early, but what are your thoughts? Where are you at?
Yeah, I would say I'm super happy with my career until now. I reached everything what I wanted. I won some big races in the world. I'm super happy with everything. Um, I'm still hungry,
Mhm.
but I have to do some more races on my bucket list. But sometimes you say, well, the life would be so easier if you if you don't run. And yeah, everybody of us know it. If the training is not going well, you're injured at home. We are definitely not the easiest person on the planet. So if running is like now is perfect and you are successful at home, everything is beautiful.
Mhm.
If it's on the opposite, then sometimes it's really difficult. But that's a life that's also very good. But sometimes I'm thinking, oh, yeah, how long should I do it? But I say, has 3, 4 hours until I'm 40 years old. That should be possible.
Mhm.
Then I look to Ludovic Pomereux. He's, I think, 46 years old, and he's still faster than me. Then I think, okay, um, let's go again.
Yeah,
Don't,
right.
yeah.
I mean, in some respects, our sport is beautiful in that, right? Jeff Browning is also approaching 50 and still is able to race with the front of the pack to a level of satisfaction for him, right? I mean, I don't know if he would show up at Western States or some other super competitive races if he would still race for himself as successful as he would want it to, but at least he finds a way of still continuing to race. What races are still on your bucket list?
Yeah, Western States, Hard Rock, and Diagonal des Fous.
Okay.
So the four big 100-mile races you have to do in your life, and I did only UTMB.
Mm-hmm.
UTMB. I'm also not finished with UTMB. I know something is possible, and I say always as a bad joke to my wife, if I make a podium, then I stop directly my career. But
Okay. Okay.
then she said,
Podium at UTMB would be the end, jokingly.
yeah, but then you would be so stupid if you do it, because then, no,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go again.
Yeah.
That's only bad jokes, but yeah, until now everything went really perfect. I can be very happy with all, and the important thing is I'm still hungry. I know how to do races. I know a lot of tactics. I know how my body works. I know my about my strength. So I'm really good at the end. My body adapts always better to the long distances. So why should I stop? I would be stupid. The life would be so boring if I don't run. So what should I do now? Go to a swimming pool and drinking beer and yeah,
I mean, for a
doing
little bit, that sounds nice, but you'd get bored after a while, right?
no. That's I did it in age of 18, so that's I have enough of this.
You got it out of your system early.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Oh, fantastic. So you've got some big races still on your bucket list. Those obviously either golden ticket or super challenging lottery. It's hard to get into those. So this will be whenever it will be. But with UTMB, you see that you have a chance to improve. You see that you still can sort of fine tune. You are hungry and you're not done yet.
Yeah, exactly. On I would say UTMB, you have to learn. You have to know how the race works, where you can waste time, where you can, yeah, where you have to be fast. If you want to go for a podium, you have to run really aggressive. You have to be always in the front pack. The time is over to start slow and then be fast at the end. At the moment in the men's field, it's not possible. You have to go always in yeah, in the top 5 from the beginning if you want to make a podium. Nobody explode in the front group. Everybody knows how nutrition works. Everybody has a good crew, so you have to be super prepared, healthy, and yeah, run aggressive, but also intelligent. And if you can make this on this day, then everything is possible.
Yeah. All right. I like everything is possible. I like that you're still hungry so shortly after Lavaredo and you're ready to dive in. I think the field that's assembling at UTMB this year is going to be, again, of highest caliber. Like when first people were suggesting maybe it might become a down year and it might be not quite as high profile, but I think we're past that too, right? we
Every
won't
year
get,
is crazy.
yeah, we won't get
Always.
down years anymore.
No. Everybody will be there. Everybody's prepared very well. Everybody wants to go full gas the first 10K. Yes, it's always funny to see it. Everybody wants to play in the front group. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the racing out at the start line is famous and ridiculous.
Yes.
but so perfect. You're dialed in. So a personal question. You've done Lavaredo 3 times. Does that mean you're done with the race? Are you gonna come back for Lavaredo because it's your race? I'm racing Lavaredo next year. I need to know that from a personal point of view.
So Jim did Western States 4 times. So he won 4 times. And I would not say never.
Okay.
You never know. Maybe it could be also that, for example, Lavaredo will be my last race, sorry, in any time. That, okay, here was my successful race. Okay, now here is also my last race. You never know.
All right. Well, amazing. Again, congratulations on absolute incredible race at Lavaredo. For folks who want to read your recaps, they need to follow you on Instagram, where you kind of detail out kind of your version of the race, which I think I like your race recaps a lot. I think they give a lot of insights, especially in an event where their media attention is not quite to what we expected from some of the bigger races. So you don't get all of the post-race interviews. You don't get all the live tracking. So people can't really sort of follow it. But the live tracking on UTMB website is also pretty good, where people can see how tight it actually was until the very end. So we'll put links to your Instagram into the show notes. And I guess we'll see you in Chamonix in a few weeks, right?
Exactly. When do you arrive?
23rd. I'll be there for a few
23rd.
days.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Then we meet us in live.
Yes.
First time.
First time live. I'm very excited about that. Hannes, have a great night. Thank you so much to coming on Singletrack.
Thank you, Matthias. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Hannes, for coming back on Singletrack and for sharing your incredible race with me. I'll see you in Chamonix in just a couple of months. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us and for all the support throughout the years. More links and info in the show notes at singletrack.fm. This was Singletrack, and I see you over at Electric Cable Car for daily trail and mountain news and for our special hard rock coverage. I'm your host, Matthias Eichler, saying auf Wiedersehen und Tschüss und Servus.